It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Would you be my neighbor? Rashawn, give me some monitor right there so I can see my suit. I had on a suit today. Not because I want to, because Fridays I like to be in sneakers, and that's my favorite. My favorite outfit is jeans, a shirt, and sneakers, like Duncan right now, just real laid back. And yeah, I saw, and I think I did a billboard once. I saw a billboard somewhere in Florida, and it had just a regular jean shirt. That's all that was on the billboard. It was a church billboard, and it said, "This is our pastor's favorite robe." I love that billboard. I think I did one time. Hey, everybody. Got a lot to talk about today. Of course, we have a lot to talk about. So those of you on social media, go ahead and share that we are live. You know some of what we got to talk about. You know. Now, let me tell you, in a few minutes, I am going to talk about the mayor's race, but I'm not about to spend a whole lot of time on it. Because it ain't no sense spending no time. Why spend an hour? What you looking at, Mark?
Trying to see what color you had on, because since you had on green on a green screen, I was trying to make sure you didn't.
Oh, that it didn't.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting I'm on the green screen. Because I ain't gonna do that whole explanation. But the background on the green screen, if I got a green behind me, so you all see me in red and black, but that's really a screen.
Yeah, just like I put you in the city.
See, oh, that's nice. That's nice. That's nice. So we're going to talk about this election, but I'm not about to spend a whole hour talking about something. I bet you that's my phone. I bet you that's my phone. Yep. Making. I do it every time. I don't turn down my volume. I don't have my monitors, huh? My monitors. Oh, they to my left, not to my right today. I'm anal, and it makes me nervous when things.
Right.
I wonder why I'm like that. We're gonna talk about mental health today, and all of the fighting, like on airplanes and even church. Like I have never. Oh yeah, I got some stories to tell today. I got stories to tell today. Neighborhoods, campaigns. We're going to talk about this mental health thing because it's real. And I'm just talking to so many people, leaders and non-leaders, and across the country. And so many of my friends and acquaintances, I don't count everybody friend. You can't count everybody friend, have reached out to me since the election, because I guess it's all over the place. It was on CNN. It was in Forbes. I just printed an article out of Forbes. And asking when they call, I'll usually get to the conversation of how, especially my colleagues who are pastors, how their churches are doing, what are they doing, and I'm hearing the same thing across the country. That rebuilding and how many people their churches lost, and I think about Bethel, and I'm telling you, it's hard. I just left a friendship for one of our members' grandmother, and I was sharing this with you, Shuki, that it was really beautiful because the grandmother picked out everything. She picked out her casket. She picked out what was going to go in the casket. She picked out her clothes. She did her bulletin, who she wanted to be in it.
Not the bulletin.
The bullet, yeah.
Come on, Nana.
Nana, you said, "Come on, Nana." Nana went in.
I love
And it made it so much easier. But and we say a big shout out, and we're praying for Don Allen Sr., whose wife Lynette Allen went on to be with the Lord and went to sleep. And I was there, those last. I think I left about an hour before, but I was honored to be there. Don has been a big part of Buffalo politics. His son was a co-host on this show, and then he passed, and it hasn't been a year, has it?
Not quite.
That right? That Don Allen Jr. So that's why
I think the spring might be a year.
it was a spring.
I think so.
So he went to sleep, and then Lynette, who both of them just good people. Lynette was just a beautiful woman inside and out. So Don, our hearts, and to not just Don, but to her family, her children also. It's a lot, man. We were talking yesterday about opening, when we were going to reopen different services and when we're going to reopen for repasses. And we're going to wait until the first of the year. But I recognized how many members who worked in the kitchen who are no longer with us.
Yeah.
Like the deaconess role, even how COVID and death like wiped out many of the those who sit on the front pew. And so when you're talking about, because now you have to, you gotta replace those folks. You gotta sooner or later the work has to go on, right? But the generation now that, and especially after COVID, who you want to be able to step up, they're online. So they may be in attendance, and True Bethel has been totally blessed to still have multiple generations attending church. We're saying, I mean, we are at 500 or more during COVID. And at the end of the day, though, and with more online, I don't know how many we have online when you finally count, but those online can't usher.
Nope.
Right.
Those online, you know,
you can usher comments, because sometimes you kind of,
you can usher comments.
yeah, you kind of got to help redirect, because I'm always in the cut.
You know what? You make so on YouTube it's called a moderator, I believe.
Yep.
So yeah, that's good. That's good. You might be starting a new ministry.
Okay.
The moderator ministry.
Yeah, because sometimes.
Right? Honestly, that's
honestly, because sometimes people, and not to segue, but I love True Bethel, because we really are come as you are, and then the people who don't know that they still can come as they are, they always are the ones who have so much to say in the process, and so I don't take offense to it, but I definitely
help usher them.
help usher and correct. You know what I mean? Because just the facts. Yeah, just the facts. Let's talk about the facts.
So
and the word.
Yep.
And then we good.
So I made homemade chicken soup. Did I say that?
And he didn't bring us any.
I didn't. But I'm tearing it up. If they hear me on the radio going clip, clip, I am tearing it up.
So just so y'all know, you got to be used to it. Like, it's the only child syndrome. I'm used to it. I don't even ask anymore. He comes home, or he comes to work, and he's like, "Oh, I made these ribs. Oh, they were slamming.
I did make ribs this
Oh,
week.
I made this, and you were supposed to invite me for the ribs." And
Well,
it just,
you
just get
say
used
that
to.
after I done bought one slab and I got 5 mouths to feed. I mean, what I'm gonna give you, a quarter of a rib?
Or a tip.
Right,
rib.
right.
The
A
gristle.
rib tip.
The gristle.
A rib.
Yeah. Have you seen my boys? Have you seen my kids?
Yes.
Have you? Yeah. Okay. The ribs were good though. I slow cooked them
Disrespect.
Wait, and then he gone.
for 6
Yeah.
6 hours.
Wow.
6 hours.
Dry or-
Rightly tapped. Dry rub.
Okay.
Right? Dried rub. Rightly with so much foil on it, it's gonna steam inside. And then I put the grill on. And I got that little copper
I
mat.
don't even eat pork, but that sounds good.
Yeah. Well, maybe next time beef. So I put that copper mat so that your meat don't fall down in there.
Yeah.
Put it on there for an hour.
And you saved the drippings.
Ooh. I went all the way to the store to find a little squirt bottle. You know how you do to put my barbecue sauce in, so I could squirt that barbecue sauce on it, and it. Whoop.
That's that Memphis barbecue.
I used to make my own barbecue. Well, don't say that. I used to enhance regular barbecue.
Enhance the bottle.
I learned that in Panama when I was living in Panama. But now, shout out to Sweet Baby Back Joe, whatever his name is. What's that?
Sweet
Baby
Baby
Ray.
Ray.
Sweet Baby Ray Joe Back, whatever your name. When I enhanced that a little bit, I still enhance it because I like it a little soupy, so that when you pour that barbecue sauce on it, it gets all in the
Yeah, 'cause
middle
you need
and
the
all.
cornbread. I got you. I don't eat it, but I get it.
Yeah, see, I can't do. I'm eating these noodles, but I'm away from the carbs and my vest fits. Come on to the meeting. because I was a little depressed about not being able to fit my clothes. I walked up in Friendship today like it was a new day. Hey, Pridgen here. Hey, and I can fit my vest. The elections. Interesting night. One of the pastors sent me, I don't know whether this is in the, Corey Gibson sent me, it's either in the Challenger or the Criterion. And it is about, and I can't look at it now, about me asking, saying, okay, elections are over. And they picked it up from an article that the Buffalo News included me in about the elections. And about the fact that I had 2 signs on my house. And we're going to talk about that because if it's in the Criterion or the Challenger, whatever paper it was in, they agreed with my approach of, okay, enough is enough. We're going to talk about mental health. What are you here for today before I get into it? Because I don't want to.
Okay, so I'm Shuki Naylor for those of the people who don't know.
Who doesn't know?
Right, I am Dante's mom. He is a 12-year-old kid with severe autism. I don't think a lot of people know that he has severe autism because he doesn't present that way. But we work really, really hard. But anyway, he's going to be 13 on December 3rd. And for his 13th birthday, he decided that he wanted to give away toys to children with autism, which floored me. How do you even a typical child wouldn't necessarily think to do that, and here goes my kiddo with all of these challenges and such. And so I hopped into action to try to figure out what that looked like, because I've never done a toy drive before. I've definitely given things away on a larger scale, but never something quite like this. So I was talking to one of my buddies in the community. He owns the UPS store. And I was like, hey, you know someplace that I could collect toys? And he was like, you could do it here. I was like, oh, okay, great. So then we had a collection place. So I began to advertise that. We started October 25th was our first date of collection through November 20th. And we have now collected something like 150 toys.
Wow.
A couple $100, which we immediately went to the store and bought toys with. And yeah, so here we are. We still need, so I reached out to a couple places to see where we could give the toys away, because it's going to be cold. So we still need a place for that. My idea was kind of like a drive-through, like the trunk or treat kind of thing. So I'm still working on that kind of detail. But the plan is for December 4th to give the toys away. People keep asking me, can they send me cash? Okay, so yes, you can. I don't really prefer that method because it's hard to track and say thank you. But King of Awesome, the Cash App, King of Awesome, if you just need to do it cash. We do have a link for Amazon. You pick any of the toys in our custom gift registry using Awesome Family Christmas XMAS as a keyword, or Toy Drive as a keyword, or even kingofawesome.com, AUSOME as a keyword search, and you can find it. But I'm sure we'll post the link. You post the link, you purchase a toy, the toy gets shipped to the UPS store, and then we're all set. So,
well, I know it's harder to track the thank yous, but I'm going to tell you this: what I've learned is that most people who give, they're really not worried about a thank you.
Really?
Yeah, if they're giving from their heart.
Okay.
They're giving from their heart. They're not. They're like, you save that stamp.
Okay.
But I mean, I got you.
Yeah,
because
we are really grateful. You know what I mean? And so, even one of the when Dante had an opportunity to meet Charbel at the UPS store, the first thing he said was, "Thank you for letting me use your place."
He is such a.
He is. He's a good. Well, he could be a little prickly too, but
yeah. So can all of our children.
Yesterday, quick story. But yesterday, he wanted to go to Five Below to buy toys, and I'm like, "Dude, where's your wallet? We're learning how to manage money." And he's like, "I can't find it." And he was like, "So you need to buy me a toy." And I'm like, "I'm not buying you a toy. You need to keep up with your wallet." And he was like, "Mom, you're lame."
Wow, that's funny because you all have that type of relationship.
Yeah.
Are there toys that people should not buy for a child with autism?
So the answer to that question is no. the way that I'm giving the toys away is that the parents have to go to kingofawesome.com and click their personal link so that they can tell me about their kiddo. And they're going to tell me their kiddo's developmental age. So you might have a kid on spectrum who's 16, but maybe have a developmental age of 5. And so I have 5-year-old toys, so I will give them a 5-year-old toy. So the answer is no. And we have the age span from 2 to 18. And the reason why is because we're really, really, really focused on inclusion. And so we don't want anyone left out. And I guess I didn't do a real good job at this, and so I'm going to do it here live, is that it's not just for the kids with autism, it's for their siblings also. And so I thought I know I said it, I know I posted it, but I know sometimes it gets a little tricky with those kinds of campaigns. So I want to say it here. It's for kids with autism and their siblings, because we know how it feels to be left out, and we don't want anyone left out.
That's boss. So let me offer that if you need this parking lot, you could always use this parking lot. You are an active member. You can do whatever you need to do. But I also, on behalf of True Bethel and our Ministry of Kindness, want to add $1,000 to your effort.
Okay, but I'm glad I didn't wear makeup.
No. I want to add that $1,000.
Wow.
We're going to give some more money toward it and allow people on Sunday to be informed. It'll be on our screens, and people will be able to give. You have done such you and your husband have done such an awesome job with your son, but not only that, you taught me, you taught Monique.
Thank you.
You taught our family, and now we are all into shows with.
I know,
people.
she told me about one.
Oh, I'm all into the. We followed autism, a young man with autism. And just learning and appreciating what they have to go through, but also how we have to be to make their lives the norm, because it is the norm.
It's all about inclusion.
Yes.
That's all it is. And the deal is, if we ever get to a place in society is to understand and respect everyone's differences.
Yes.
That's all it really boils down to.
You know
There's
what?
no more than that.
You're about to segue into what I want to talk about, because you just said it. Respect each other's differences.
Yep.
And, I know I'm a pastor. I got it. I know these titles and all that. But at the end of the day, everybody's not going to believe the same way I do. And I am okay with that to the extent as long as you ain't trying to hurt me.
That part.
And I'm not trying to hurt you. We talk about serving most religions, the same God, however you approach him. And the last I checked, he is love, the spirit, the fruits are, this long suffering and all of that. And then you see people arguing about it. You are never going to hear Darius Pridgen arguing religion. You're never going to hear me arguing theology. I'm going to present what I feel after study and prayer is the correct thing. And you may take that same thing and go, that's not what we're not doing. Now, someone said, no, but iron sharpens. Because sometimes you get so sharp, you start cutting each other.
You better say that.
And at
Especially
the end
with them tongues.
Right. Oh, yeah. So I ain't even going into that. So this is what I want to talk about today, and I won't hold you, but okay. I'm grateful. I want to make sure that we get before we shift. You can go to kingofawesome.com, and awesome being spelled AUSOME. That's the official website, kingofawesome.com. And he wants to give these away. His birthday is on the 3rd of December, right? And so Dante, he's doing this. I want, and Mark, I think, did you send out a press release on this?
So I didn't send out a press release, but I do have a donor statement for it.
Okay.
I already sent it to Mark. He has it.
Mark, let's send a letter to the press from me, asking them to pay attention to this. Because I think we need to probably do that Monday morning.
Thank you.
Right? And let's get some attention to this. We got all of November for this to happen. And, I just feel like this is something unique that I want to get behind, that I want True Bethel behind, because you are just doing a great job in exposing us and teaching us and training us about awesome people with autism.
Thank you.
You
Thank
really
you.
are. So
Thank
you the queen of that. Now.
Oh,
You
oh, not the queen.
You the queen of that. You gonna take that, mama.
Okay, I'll take it.
All right. So if you want to hang around, you can.
Hang
but
around. You want to?
So Duncan, you coming in? What you got?
I got an announcement.
Okay, come on, real quick. I'm gonna get to the topic. You got an announcement. What's your announcement, busy man?
So Nichols School
Yeah.
has 2 scholarships available right now for one black boy and one black girl going into the 5th grade.
Okay.
The tuition for Nichols is about $26,000. This scholarship will cover that 5th grader going into the 5th grade next year, right? From 5th grade through 12th grade. It's worth about $400,000. It also covers all uniforms, all educational fees, anything associated, field trips, activities, everything. The only requirements are they got to live in Buffalo, be black, make under $60,000, and their kids got to be going into the 5th grade and ready to do work because there's real school work happening at Nichols, right? And so if that's them, please, people just text me. I just wanted to get that out there, 308-0506. 308-0506. Just blow me up, and I'll get you to. I got the plug in there. They get you in there because I mean, last year we put 5 people in this program, and this year they got 2 more spots. So rising 5th graders.
I totally agree. I've been meeting with Nichols. So I think it's real good because you are of the age of other people who have children. I'm of the age of people who got grandkids. So I think that is very important for us to take that opportunity and get it. So tell them one more. Go ahead.
And I was just going to say, and because of their efforts, we're preparing to take our Radio Shade remote to Nichols.
Oh, right. We are going to remote.
in the upcoming months. So
With the students.
Yes.
And letting them kind of run the show.
Guess what students probably gonna be there?
Who?
The students I'm working with in the mentor program. But they got
Wow.
a student of color mentor program where the upper school students mentor the younger students of color so they don't feel like they in this new white environment. They don't know what time it is. They got a community of black students mentoring each other and kind of helping
And it
them.
was African students, right, that he was
Yes.
talking about? Yeah, that's what they told us.
Yeah, oh, I know.
And so
I got a lanyard and everything.
You get to help prepare, and we're coming over to Nichols to do an entire show over at Nichols.
Oh yeah, they'll love that.
Yeah.
And when you meet these kids, you'll be like, "Oh, this is what it's supposed to be like." You know what I mean?
Well, I've been involved for a while because my daughter went to Nichols.
Okay.
And then they reached out, and I'm so surprised. I'm not surprised. Maybe I am. So proud of some of the diversity I'm seeing in the staff. We have a member here who works on the staff, and the young man who contacts us is African American male. And so there's an opportunity.
Yeah, they're trying to get it right.
Yeah,
they
there
try,
you go.
That's all you want from
And
people
being
is-
very honest that they're trying to get it right and that they're trying to diversify and they're recognizing the importance of having African students, African American students, and other underrepresented areas in their school. So big ups to Nichols.
So look, thank you. I just wanted to get that out. So
Cool.
I appreciate that opportunity.
You know, come on now, you know. And let me say this before I got to get to the topic, but I saw your schedule the other day. This man got a schedule. Did you see that schedule? We'll be at such and such. He in like places like I never even thought to visit. Was it Utah?
Yeah.
If I got to look on the map to see where Utah is. So
Utah's a beautiful place.
is it really?
That's gorgeous.
So in high school, I was part of the DECA program. So
Was I. Did I tell you that?
Yeah, I think you did.
Yeah.
The national competition was in Salt Lake City the year after the Olympics were there. It was a beautiful city. It was the only place until I moved to Buffalo that it could be a complete blizzard and you didn't need a coat.
Oh boy. Well,
Yeah.
congratulations.
Well, listen, I just want to say thank you for that. God is just so good, allowing me to grow my business and my speaking and my training. I've got to work with Wake Forest. I've got a contract with all the schools in Utah. So I'll be speaking to like 230 schools over the next couple of years in Utah.
Wow.
I'm going to talk to a conference in Singapore.
Goodness.
I'll be following their minister of state, Sung Jueling. So I mean, just blessed, you know, to walk in purpose and have these opportunities. So
We love it.
and we be on True Bethel Live too. Me and
You
Caroline.
know, I can see who on. His lovely wife. Okay, folks, listen. So here's the story. I get a call from, so I'm like I said, and I don't know if it's the challenge or the criterion, big ups to all of our black papers. black owned and run papers. But Pastor Cook sent me what their take was on something I did last week. Now, let me tell you what I did. And you're hearing it from me. It wasn't a gimmick. It was really about it. I was just so tired of how nasty this race had gotten. We had gotten away from issues because I want to know what you're going to do. It got to be personal about people's clothing, about to me, kids are way off. You don't deal with the candidate, but not their kids, not their family, not all that. It just became to the point like you would have thought these people were getting paid. So I have decent relationships with both of what were the front runners. Get along with India, helped India get the food trustee. One thing about me, if I got you, I got you. Like if we've been rocking, for a race, I don't have to endorse you, but I'm also not going to disrespect you, and I'm not going to act like I can't talk to her. That's corny. Because and I said this on Sunday morning, before she was running, she was kind of like a Chucky. If she would see something up that wasn't fact about me, about my wife, she would say it. So now how do you, with somebody who stood flat foot for you, now you act like you can't talk to him? I don't do that. I don't do that. That's not who I am. I have worked with Byron Brown for now 11 years, and even before then. And at the end of the day, no, we haven't gotten everything done, but I'm not going to act as if nothing has been done, right? So we both have been talking all through this election. Like, I didn't shut off anybody. The day that I made a decision for the lawn signs on my lawn was the right day. We were having the senior drive-through. The mayor came, and when the mayor walked up, I said, and I'm clowning, you know how I am. I'm clowning, I'm standing on this boulder, and he's walking toward me, and I'm like, the mayor's here, and he said, write down Byron Brown, right? So so some of his staff was there, and they like, wow, because they knew I was staying out of it. I said I wasn't going to help nobody, I wasn't going to hurt anybody. That was my religion. So the mayor walks up, and one of his people said, oh, you being petty. Like, funny, though. We all laughing. And I then said, you missed your opportunity because y'all could have recorded me right quick and had a commercial. So now the mayor walks up, and he was coming on the show. It's on the show. You can go back and look at last week's show. So I said it again, and one of his staff pointed, and I looked, his guy was recording me. So I was like, no. So the mayor was like, no, you endorsed me. So it was just a good day. Then we get on the radio, and you can go back and look, and he was like, yeah, because you endorsed me. And we went in the back and forth. It was planned. And so when I got home, I saw something a poster not a poster, but one of her campaign signs. And we were talking, and she said, you gonna come on and join this team now? And I said, I'm not getting it this right. And she said, well, let me put a little sign on your lawn. And I said, you know what? You can. I said, and I'm gonna allow the mayor if he wants to. I said, because I want people to vote. Now, one of my biggest reasons for trying to get Dems out is about Kim Beatty. Mm-hmm. Because I knew what was going to happen, that the Republicans were going to come out for the mayor, and that then they're going to vote for the Republican sheriff. I'm going like, let's just get people to vote. So 10 minutes later, I look outside of my window. Somebody rings my bell, and I look, and it's this big India Walton sign. So I opened the door, and I was like, we're supposed to be putting out a little sign. So they was like, okay. I said, now, when I wake up in the morning, I'm probably going to transplant this across the street to the field. So it was Mike. So Mike says, it don't matter because I already took a picture on Facebook. And I was like, Mike. So I immediately called the mayor, text him, and he called me back, and I said, hey, I allowed India to put a sign out. I'll allow you to put a sign out. And he was like, really? So he said, well, is there a limit? I said, put a sign out. I go to a funeral on Saturday. When I come home, there is this
billboard,
mammoth Byron Brown sign. And their attitude, I want people to know this, about what we were doing was both of them were jovial. It was like one of the most civil times in this campaign between, as far as them having a third party who was not like trying to hurt the other one and it just get your sign out. So what happens after his billboard is out? India's folk return.
Yeah, skywriting.
And then there's one on my fence. There's 2 India signs on my fence. There's a brown. And I know some people took it wrong, and I'm okay with that. Everybody gets a right to their opinion, but at the end of the day, that the mortgage, not the mortgage, the deed says Darius Pridgen, Monique Pridgen. So the point is, it was not, it was to bring civility. And when the Buffalo News, so the next morning, I think it was Saturday morning, my phone is ringing off the hook from news agencies. And I didn't return the call. It was what it was. I said what I said. You want to get my feedback? Look at what I posted. So about a half hour later, my doorbell's ringing. Now, reporters never just show up at my house. So I knew it was a big deal. So I said, let me go ahead and answer the door. So I go to the door. Somebody from the Buffalo News said, my editors want to, I'm sorry for coming to your house. But we just want to know, are you supporting India Walton? And my answer was, I'm supporting democracy. And I want people to vote. And then I told him the story, and I said, I'm on my way right now to bury a person that probably was killed because of turf wars, right? I said, so for me, I don't think that an election should split a city beyond the election. You choose what you want to choose during the election. And what was amazing to me is how many people got mad at people who they love based on what they felt who they wanted to support.
And they didn't vote.
And some of them didn't vote. But even if they did, like, what? None of us were getting paid to do this. Or going to the second floor. So at the end of the day, I was pleased, and whichever periodical picked it up today, I was pleased to bring that jovial moment for both of them because they both laughed about it. And it was this competition, and you wake up in the morning and there's more signs on my lawn. And at the end of the day, I'm going to be honest, I enjoyed seeing and hearing their voices as we talked about it and we supported democracy. Now, to those, and we've got, this is happening all over. If you don't keep up with like YouTube and all that kind of stuff, I want to tell you, people are fighting on planes over vaccines and masks. People are, and God knows I'm praying for my own children. They're fighting in schools, fighting in the streets, killing. And for the first time ever, I am seeing more consistent disruptions in the church. Probably in the last 2 weeks, we've had several incidents, and I don't mean Sunday morning. I'm talking about where somebody is already murdered and then the family's having arguments. I don't mean whispering arguments. You whisper like, I can't stand her. That happens all the time.
Right.
I'm talking about screaming out, hollering, cussing each other. Something is going on mentally. And my fear was it would continue after November 2nd, which what I am saying, whether you agree or not, and that's okay. Like, I don't get mad somebody doesn't agree with me. And you don't have to agree with me. But at the end of the day, our community is fractured enough over vaccine, non-vaccine, mask, no mask, school, no school. And, some of the greatest voices in this city, we don't always agree, and we get along. Like, we get along because they respect my opinion and I respect theirs. That's what it's about. This is what democracy is about. This is what living in America is about. And there's some people, I think, trying to turn this into a Russia where it's like, no, you got to believe like me or you do what the government said. No. So I got some articles about because I think some of this has to do with COVID.
Absolutely.
Right?
I'm a registered nurse. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Did you tell me that before? Probably.
I don't know if
I
I
don't
did.
remember
I don't
you
really
ever
share
saying
it,
that.
because I nurse Dante. He's a scared kid too. That's a different story. But yeah, the mental health situation that we got going on, and the deal is people don't understand mental health. So like whenever you start talking about mental health or, this is a mental health matter or, you need counseling, first of all, we got to demystify it, especially in our community.
Yeah.
Like we still haven't like tackled that initiative, in my opinion, well. We have some people, especially amongst women who look like me. We are still superheroes in our own mind, and we don't understand that PTSD and trauma responses are real.
But what do you think? And I know you didn't come here to put on your professional hat. What do you think happened? Now I got some articles here I'm going to share in a few minutes. What do you think happened during COVID? I'll self-identify because we always want to talk out and not talk from in. It has been rough.
It has.
And I'm not sure, I can't connect the dots of why, from being moody, I can go from 1 to 10 very quickly. And just trying, and now, I'm trying to just like woosah and count. I got 5 ways to manage your mental health during COVID-19. But where I can't connect the dots is why. Like, because we've lived through it. You would think for a guy like me who has lived through having COVID, but there's this other part of burying so many people with COVID. And I think my emotions are all messed up. You know?
You haven't had time to decompress from one grief after another grief after another grief after you're constantly, and not you specifically,
Right,
you know what I mean, but
But
all
people
of
like
us,
me, yeah, I wanna-
all of us, especially high performers, because we don't have time for anything. You know what I mean? Like we're always focused on the next thing. We don't really give ourselves the downtime necessary to kind of really process what we're experiencing. But even beyond that, like, grief is 5 stages, and sometimes it's a cyclic pattern. Sometimes you get to the acceptance part, right, even for 5 minutes, and then you right back at bargaining. Oh, I miss my nana, I miss my mom, or the job, or the perfect baby, those opportunities. And so like when we're growing through the grief process, growing through the grief process, we miss the opportunity to appreciate each stage.
Well, I guess it was meant for you to be here today because I'm talking to so many people who are having these kind of feelings and not really being able to put your finger on it. Like, when the economy was down, when we couldn't go outside, I understood it then because I'm in the house with 2 boys all day and
still here?
it's hard to be, kind of enclosed, and the summertime was hard. But now you can go out. So it would seem that all of that kind of dark feeling would go away. And what I found is it doesn't go away easy without effort.
No, and I was going to say, so we just even had this conversation amongst our football coaches, and it was started by our defensive coordinator, and he was just like, guys, I was doing this training at work, and he was like, I just want to pause for a second before we get into our staff meeting and just ask, are y'all good?
That's something that
And, yeah.
even at school now that they were asking.
It's called mindfulness.
Wow. So he asked, "Are y'all good?"
He asked, are y'all good? And he was just like, let's just take a moment and then he had to acknowledge during COVID, I didn't want to go to my own basement to work. And so we all started sharing, and then we started identifying like, hey man, I knew you were going through something, but we were in the midst of a season because like
Now these are coaches.
One guy was unemployed, so he was having the mood swings because he's struggling trying to find a job. Coaching at our high school is, as Leah puts it, the NFL. So we demand a lot on each other and of the kids. So like you said, you don't have that break. Football for me is my outlet, but it's a lot of work that goes into coaching at Canisius. So he just said, if y'all need a day to miss practice, just let me know. And I'm fine with it because I don't want to keep putting things on you and then mentally you're not here.
Well, what I'm reading right now, and this is a scholarly article about COVID-19 pandemic mental health challenges, is, and I would just quote, and it comes from, it's a long website, but I can share it with you another time if you'd like to read it. It talks about people experience emotional disturbance, irritability, insomnia, depression, and post-traumatic stress immediately, talking about the quarantine period and all that. And the only reason I read that little blurb is because at first I thought people were going through mentally because they couldn't be around people. Now it's shifted. Now
You got to be around people.
you got to be around people, and that has brought some anxiety.
That part.
Right? Because now I'm fully vaccinated, but there are breakthrough cases.
Yep.
And in your head, in my head, I want to be as transparent as possible, because it's always, you can talk about sin, but don't ever want to talk about your sin. Nope, let's deal with it. Because in my head, I always think, oh shucks, can my body handle another COVID situation? Will I come out as well as I did the last time? And then worrying about loved ones and, mother, father, all these things. And there's just really not much of an outlet. So what I encourage people, and I got 5 ways to manage. And I've been reading everything. Do you hear me? Everything, and trying them. All the count before you respond. And that's probably stuff we need anyway. Right? But now it is so much more. And that's why I really wanted to be that kind of peacemaker in what everybody, and just go like, okay, everybody, come on now. Calm down. And let
But the anxiety works the other way too. If you think about it, we got comfortable in isolation. So now when it's like I got to go have this meeting face to face.
Yeah.
Like it's the instant, like now I got to be social again. You're like, oh, I don't want to be social.
Yeah. And that is
And
a
what are the
struggle.
new social norms?
Right.
What are the new social norms when you're being social? Because I was at home, relaxed. Like yesterday, I was at Macy's. No plug for Macy's. I know you always talk about not plugging people.
No, that's me.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
They not sponsored.
Right. We're not sponsoring them. But I was there at the mall, and I was noticing that all of the clothing are like relaxed fit. There's no dress up clothes, right? And so I was saying to myself, we got to get out of this. I said, because when you're dressed better, you behave better, you talk better, you sit up better. It's kind of like when you put your Sunday's best on.
Right,
You don't slouch, all of those kinds of things. And now that we're back in front of people, next to people that we normally don't see or haven't been seeing, now it's, well, can I say that? Can I
Yeah.
be myself? Do
Yeah.
they know me?
And some of the conversation becomes so divisive that you're like, I don't want to talk about vaccine. I don't want to talk about this. But it's the only really thing, like, I am not really totally comfortable in public yet. And I'm definitely not comfortable in tight quarters. Now, obviously, we have a limit of even how many people can come to church. We've limited to 500 with an overflow, and we basically try to stay right there. Because I know if I were going to church, if I didn't have a seat picked out,
right.
I don't want to sit on a row with a full row. And Pastor, don't ask me to talk to my neighbor, because I'm not going to talk to my neighbor.
Even with my mask on.
I'm not going to talk. I can talk to myself, but I don't want to.
I didn't talk to them before.
So what I think is why I'm bringing this up is because this week and in the past couple of weeks, I've just talked to so many people, and I could see during this election it getting worse. And so if you didn't fell out with your wife or your husband, get over this stuff. You and a friend ain't talking because one was for one. Let it go. Let it go. Decisions have been made. Votes are in. That portion is over, and you have to learn how to go from the political cycle to governance and being involved now in the. So if there were issues that a candidate who, if there, let me just say it like this: if there are issues that you say I want Byron Brown to pay attention to, then now you have to be involved in the governance because the political stuff is over, and you can do all of the nasty stuff you want to do. It ain't gonna change nothing. At the end of the day, it's governance.
I would actually like to see India work with Byron Brown.
I've heard this. That's about the 5th time I've heard that.
Yeah, I would, because she's excellent door to door, and the people dig her, get her, and they feel like they're heard by her.
You know that's happened before.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact,
I kind of liken it to like how Barack and Hillary went head to head, and then she became a part of his administration. I think it would be dope.
It's there now. In the Brown administration.
Oh, really?
Yes, one of the commissioners was one of great commissioner Kevin Helfer.
Okay.
Was a Republican.
Wow.
And he ran against Brown. And now he's a commissioner. He's been a commissioner for years.
Yeah, I think it would be
so
an
it's not
opportunity for her
impossible.
too. I also think long term, if she has more political aspirations, I think it would be an excellent. I think it would be an excellent career move. But I also think that it would be an opportunity for her, one, to kind of get what she needs to get, to kind of finesse the things she needs to finesse to grow in that area. But I also think that for the East Side, because that's the big thing that everyone feels like Mayor Brown missed, that she would help him connect those dots, and overall the city benefits. It's a win-win.
It's not a bad idea. 5 things for your mental health. 5 things. Now you didn't put it out there. We're gonna see if that seed.
You know, you got to speak.
but I'm getting to the 5 things for those of you waiting for the 5 things. But it's good to hear peace words.
Yep.
You didn't, and I probably wouldn't have allowed it on this show if somebody came in and they want to do all that rah-rah. I just don't want to carry that on my platform.
Well, if you bring a dog bone,
yeah. I want, so by you even suggest that, that's not saying that if he doesn't like, and if he don't, then no, it's just putting out a suggestion, just putting it out in the atmosphere, and you can take it or leave it or not. Take breaks. Here, item number 1, 5 things suggested by, I need to give credit because I didn't come up with this. This is from a article in Wellness and Prevention by Dr. Kate Hagedorn. And this was during the pandemic, the worst parts, although we've got to watch numbers, in 2020. She says, take breaks from the news.
And social media. After
a certain point, it could be more upsetting than informational. Make sure the information you do get is from a reputable, non-sensationalist source, and evaluate how much is helpful for you to read in a day. Now, I will say this. I am a real news junkie, and I probably check the news once every hour and a half if I have a chance, especially on my phone. And I don't mean local.
Right.
I want to see national news. I want to know what's going on. I read local stuff in the morning, and then that's pretty much it. I might look again if something is happening, but I'm not finna to sit there the whole time. You said something that's what I took a break from, and I still have, actually, and that's social media. Mm-hmm. I put up something, and that's it. I'm out. It's like you show up, and it's like, I'm out. I want to give you this information, but I'm not doing no back and forth. Mm-hmm. I saw during this campaign, like, adults, and then you wonder, then we talk about the kids and go, these kids, no, mama, no, mama. I'm seeing
No, mama.
grown people.
And Nana too.
Right? And Nana too. I'm not doing that. Now, I may clarify, I may inform, but what we not going to do, we ain't doing that back and forth, and I'm going to meet you. And no. Let me tell you about Pridgen. We ain't meeting nowhere to do no fighting. Let me tell you what's going to happen. Let me tell you, it's going to be 2 things, and I've been consistent about this. One is, if you come the wrong way and I got to protect myself, I'm going to protect myself. But the other is, if you even like swing toward me, I'm falling down. I'm 57, and then I'm calling the cops and my lawyer.
That part.
I
On retainer.
ain't got
We all
I got
friends.
lawyers. Take break. And nobody, let me say this, I'm saying that in jest, nobody. I don't have those kind of problems. Matter of fact, I just went to Friendship, and Josh said, listen, You can't be out here by yourself. I'm like, yeah, I can. I don't like the one thing that I'm thankful for in Buffalo is that I can go on any street, I can go anywhere, you know, and I ain't gonna name no streets, but I can go on that side of town, the other side of town, and I'm probably more respected by the hood than some other folks.
Got hitters everywhere.
Right? They just
Like, I
they
don't keep the hammer right
and they
next to
know
them.
me and they know
Right.
my name and they know
Right.
I'm not on no funny stuff. You
That's
know
why
what I
you
mean?
need the moderation online.
Two, take care of your body. Take deep breaths, stretch, meditate. Try to eat relatively well-balanced meals. That's really important.
Water.
Move your body regularly. Get plenty of sleep. Highly limit alcohol and drugs. And you're right, water. Water isn't on there. Now, I was not a water. Look at my grandson. Look at him. He over there doing the He makes me sick. Taking care of your body is important. I didn't start really taking care of my body until I couldn't fit my clothes. I ain't gonna tell no story. As long as I was skinny and I could fit everything and all that kind of stuff, it was all right. But when I couldn't button this vest, you see that? You see that?
Yeah, it's looking good.
I couldn't button this vest. I couldn't button the vest. I knew Pridgen. You get yourself together. And now that I am, and I'm staying away from a whole lot of carbs. I ain't gonna say I just had some noodles, but I'm not doing the fast food as much. Only thing I do have a little addiction, and it's flame broiled hamburger at one fast food place.
I dig it.
But just the hamburger.
Yeah,
Just
I dig
the-
it.
Yeah,
I dig
I
it.
do like that because it's quick and I can go get it.
Yeah.
Okay, so take care of your body, folks. 3, plan for coping with a potentially sudden drop in social contact. And this, like I said, was in 2020, events being canceled. Like for me, okay, only child syndrome. I don't care when they be canceled.
Yeah. I was the only child until I was like 16.
Yeah, so you get it,
yeah.
right? You cancel, I'd be like, oh, no,
Oh, really?
ain't no problem.
Oh,
Oh, you was coming over? Oh, you ain't come? Oh,
Oh, bless your heart. Thanks.
I see you. First of all, I had how many people in the house for Kim's fundraiser?
Too many.
We had a lot of people in the house. It was
I
a
love Kim.
wonderful turnout of faith-based leaders. And like I had anxiety in the beginning and I would disappear for like 5. I know my level. And nothing was happening.
Yeah, you just
It's
need
just
a minute.
people see the public Pridgen and don't realize that the private Pridgen is really, really private. Duncan will tell you, Duncan, how many times you tried to get me out of the house? Like, come by, we having to. No, I don't. I don't go. I don't. Family, everything. I don't. And especially since my grandmother's been gone. I am, and this is, and I am a huge introvert. Huge introvert.
But I
And
dig
I'm
that.
very uncomfortable in situations that either I can't control or that I don't know what I'm going into. And that's why, and Mark will tell you, I turn down almost every invitation to speak. I could never do
Absolutely.
what Duncan does. So that's why I promote Duncan, because that's his call.
Right.
If I had to get on a plane and constantly go to different places I've never been, figure out audiences, do all that, my anxiety level would be through the roof. I did for Corey the other day, and was it Corey who texted me? Maybe it was Corey, because I said Corey Gibson, right? So,
Originally, then you came back with Cook.
let me see who texted me, so I give the right one the credit.
Which one?
Anyway, one of them did.
So we were at Calvary. That's where you were at.
Yeah, but no, it was Corey Gibson who texted me.
Okay.
And so when he asked me to come to Calvary, I'm like, dude, I don't really preach out like that. And then I did it because I'm proud of Corey, and this was something he wanted to do. It was really important to him, and I accepted it. But at the same time, I turned down a convention, like and it wasn't because I didn't want to preach at the convention. It's not my call. I get anxiety the whole couple days before. I'm like, why did you say yes to this? How's this going to work out? So I know that about me. So this whole
Now,
when
how
we
long
talk
have you
about
known
that.
Because I tell you, like at this point, I'm still kind of figuring that out. Like saying yes because I want to help the people.
I've only been doing that recently, probably
Okay.
a little before. Well, I've never accepted a lot of invitations. Never, never, ever.
Because I'll accept, but I'll be the whole time
Yeah.
leading up. I'm like, oh my God, why did I?
We get every week maybe 9, 10 invitations for different things. And then I have to pick and choose where am I going to be most effective and where do I really want to be. And at 57 to be able to say, I can't make that one. And that's a part of keeping my mental health. Because one thing that I did learn, what time is it, Rashawn, you in front of? One thing that I did learn as we get ready to get out of here, and I'll give the last two, is that I do appreciate being home, being with family at the end of the day, and not having to go from 9 o'clock to 9 o'clock. And I can't. It is just on your body, on your mind, it can stretch you. 4, create a new adapted schedule. Oh, I just read that, for taking cancellations into account. Yeah, okay. And 5, this is where I want to end, do a worry drop. Write all of your fears in your journal until your anxiety has dropped by half. Make a daily list of what is going well and remember the things that are going well. Despite the current situation, maybe you're able to spend more time with your kids or reading a book you've been meaning to get to. If you have a pre-existing mental health condition, these recommendations are especially important. So self-care, folks. Can't say it enough. Can't care for anybody else if you cannot care for yourself. Listen, I got to get out of here. Hobson's the doctor of dry cleaning. That's right, the doctor of dry cleaning. Mrs. Hobson now is the doctor of dry cleaning. Go by and notice I didn't make her the nurse of dry cleaning. She took over as the doctor of dry cleaning. 874 East Delaware. Stop by. Hobson's the doctor of dry cleaning. I've got a whole lot to take and just picked up a whole lot. They see me coming and be like, oh boy. Brian K. Lewis Funeral Home, 3 locations to serve you. 347 Peckham, 2528 Bailey, 1275 Sycamore. In your hour of need. Brian K. Lewis Funeral Home. Listen, we're getting ready to throw it back over to who over there? Shotty?
I have no idea.
You don't know who over there? Shotty, Lee, or TT. Thanks, Duncan, and congratulations. What's your website? DuncanKirkwood.com. That's easy. Check out DuncanKirkwood.com. And if you're looking for a speaker, especially a motivational speaker, but whatever it is, he's a professional. He'll figure out how to meet your need of what you need him. He's a professional at this. He's making a living in all over the country. So proud. Give me the website.
KingofAwesome.com, KingofAusome.com.
Listen, I'm pleased and thankful to have this platform. Until next week, if the Lord willing and the creek don't rise, power to the people.
Power to the people.